Hey everybody, and welcome to Binder Minder. And following up from our last video, I've got a box of foundations as well. So I picked up two of these from Woot when they were on sale during, near Prime Day for $99 a box. Gave one to my wife as a surprise, and today I get to jump in and see what I get in my box. So her box came in and it had like a tear in the box, and the corners of the box were tore up from being like maybe banged around or something. This one looks like it's in better shape, so. In her box, as far as her values go, if you haven't seen the other video, it's a spoiler, but I think the total price was like 101 or 104 with all the cards, and her like over $1 was like 40 bucks. So it was not exactly what I would want to see, you know. So hopefully we do a little better on this box. We'll see. Check these out real quick. As far as cards to look for, keep an eye out for, there's always Doubling Season, Twin Flame Triumph, if I can say it. There's Bloodthirsty Conqueror, there's Sire of Seven Deaths. Obviously, if you've watched the channel before, I love those. You can play any number of these cards, and there are heir apparents in this set as well, so we'll be keeping an eye out for those. That's what I'd like to see. If I could get just a bunch of heir apparents, I'd be happy, to be honest. But I don't know. We didn't really have any expectations. We've opened this before. Just thought it'd be a fun one, and we use a lot of these cards for decks and stuff, so I don't really mind opening some of them up just to have some extra cards around. So I am going to go pretty quick through the commons and uncommons. As far as uncommons go, there's Boros Charm, Bolt Bend, Bolt Wave, Swiftfoot Boots, an Offer You Can't Refuse. Those are the main ones to be keeping an eye out for, and then obviously for the commons, we'd be looking for the heir apparent, Impact Trimmers, and let's see, there's also Carnlin Orb of Dragonkind. If we can see any of those are over $1 as well. Anyhow, we'll go ahead and get going through here. We'll kind of be quick though. Don't want to waste your time too much. Got a borderless something. Urbu, the First Fang, not bad. And got a Drake Hatcher. That was a good card when the Izzet deck was in standard. Hope everybody's been doing well. As always, I'm still behind on publishing. I've recorded a whole bunch of videos, and I just don't like to throw them all up, on the same day. And then I get distracted, busy with work or something else, and I don't get them all posted up in time, trying to do in a schedule. So I got a whole bunch of stuff to post up, and we are getting surprisingly close to Edge of Eternity. So we got a Tali Primal Storm there. I'm really excited for Edge of Eternity. We just finished all the spoiler season, and yeah, I put in a pretty big pre-order of my game store. It'll be the first time in a while that my pre-order was local. I like supporting local, but for the first time in a while, my pre-orders were cheaper to do locally. But that's just because I missed the timing on it. I normally order from a company that didn't post theirs up in time, and I missed out on the pricing. So, Swiftblade Vindicator. I use this Burglar Rat in some black decks. Nothing too big so far, I guess. There's a heir apparent. Can't complain about that. There's a Bolt Wave. Anthem of Champions. Quilled Great Worm, and if I could say it, Draculus, Maul of Flames. That's a foil. Got 3 rares in that pack. I think they're all. No, one was a mythic. Not a bad pack, especially when you had these other cards in there as well. Can't complain about that one. Wish they were all that good. An offer you can't refuse isn't too bad. Elvish Archdruid. I imagine by the time I get this thing published, we're probably getting already into the Edge of Eternities, if not later. So, hope everybody's enjoyed their pre-release or gotten their cards in. Kind of curious to see how it's going to be. Time stop, by the way. As far as playing standard, we're kind of, pre-launch. We're in this lull where we're after the big bands, but we're before all of the sets are rotating out. Got a cat walking across the desk here. This is Arnold. All right, boom, boom. Yep, keep going. But in between the bands and then the rotation, it's kind of like, well, you don't really want to build anything too crazy because we got another set coming out. Nine Lives Familiar. Extravagant Replication. We got a Lunar Insight Borderless, and then the Borderless Foil Braid. This isn't worth a lot, but I love the art on this thing. My wife got one of those in her box as well. I think I've got a whole bunch in my binder. I haven't built any decks that needed a braids lately, so I haven't used them up yet. I might have to go through my old decks and do some visual upgrades. I think I've got a few decks that have old versions of the braids, so. Sylvan Scavenging there. So yeah, in between these launches, it's kind of a wait and see kind of thing as far as playing on Arena. Getting a little bit of Commander games in. But got a couple decks we're working on. My wife decided to build she's got a zombie deck that she's working on. Mossborn Hydra, that's a good one. I'd love to get the borderless version of this card. I've actually got this original one, and I could just put it. I have a deck that I want to put it in, but I love the artwork for the borderless one, and been wanting to get one. So hopefully I come across one of those. It's a rare borderless rare would be a hard one to pull, but we could hope. My wife actually had she's got the borderless one, and she had the Manifold one, but she just traded it for a bunch of cards to kind of fill in the gaps in her Final Fantasy collection. So, there's Doubling Season. That's a good hit. So we got Mossborn Hydra and then Doubling Season. Not too bad for 2 packs. That Runaway together is pretty good too, right? If I don't drop my cards. And we got a Flame Wake Phoenix. Okay. Start on the second stack here a little bit more. Dive into it. Another Heir Apparent there. Zombify is always a good card. Alinda, Saint of Dusk. Finally can talk tonight. Let's get these situated here. Doubling season. I say that doubling season alone just means that this box is going to be better than the last box. She didn't do bad on the rest of the stuff. She just didn't have any of these hits. Like her most expensive card was $5. Krenko Mob Boss. One of the best, if not the best, Goblin Commander, depending on who you ask. And it's good in Standard as well if you're building any of the Goblin decks. Does see play. You got here. Think Twice. That looks cool. Tiny Bones. Bobble Burglar. Got some squirrels. Solemn Simulacrum, not a bad one. There we go. Bloodthirsty Conqueror. I think that's the best hit in the set, right? As far as just regular framed. That's awesome. Yeah, this is not a bad box. That doubling season right there does it. Let's still go for that borderless Mossborn Hydrodon. Maybe 2 or 3 more Hair Parents. I'd be real happy. We're not even halfway through this box yet, so still room to find more. Bolt Wave, that's another good uncommon hit. Crystal Barricade. Lathrop, Blade of Elves, good elf commander. That's what's nice about foundations, and I mean it's kind of in the name, right? But it is touching upon a lot of the foundational cards, like the stuff basics. And of course, there's other stuff like that Bloodthirsty Conqueror that are new and specific to the set. There's something borderless back there. Spinner of Souls and Prosperous Proportions. Borderless one. Homunculus Horde. Kiora, Rising Tide. It's not a bad Merfolk commander as well. Or in the 99. Imprisoned by the Moon. Galta. Not a big dollar hit, but a very good card. Used to be a good, expensive card before this set. There's only so many people looking for dinosaurs, though, even though they are fun. Banishing Light there. Leyline Axe. back. Authority of Council. That is a card that a lot of people don't like to see in 60 card. There's another heir apparent. Never complaining there. That puts us at 3. Slag Storm. Time Stop foil. Oops, need to bump you there. Archmage of Ruins, foil Lanivore. Lunar Insight again. About time to find another borderless card, probably, right? Swiftfoot Boots. It's an uncommon, but a good one. Raise the Past. Never complain about that. And Twin Flame Tyrant. So we got Bloodthirsty Conqueror, Twin Flame Tyrant, and Doubling Season. The only thing we're missing is the Sire of 7 Deaths, and I think we get the top 4 cards from this set. And we got a few packs left to look for, too. 8 packs. There's a borderless card back there. Stroke of Midnight. I'm going to guess from the side, it kind of looks like that bird. So we got a Brass's Bounty, and then, yep, Kaikar, the Zephyr Awakener. I'm running out of space here for all the rares, and running out of space for all the rares and the good cards here. Don't want to come apart. Maul of Flames again. I'm not going to try to say the first word. We pulled one of those earlier. Soulstone Sanctuary. That's a good card. And an Omniscience or Omniscience, depending on who you ask. Put that down here. I don't know how much those are worth these days, but the Soulstone Sanctuary, and if you don't play this in a few of your decks, this can be a pretty good card. So it taps for a mana, and then for 4, this becomes a 3/3 creature with vigilance and all creature types, and it's still a land. So if you have a typo deck, this isn't a bad one because it comes in and it can give you another goblin or another whatever you need because it's all creature types. So if you have anything that scales off of that, it's good. All right. Scavenging ooze. Not a bad card as well, to be honest. It's one of those that grows in size. It's not expensive, but it does, because it exiles a target card from a graveyard. Lets you exile cards from your graveyard or an enemy's graveyard and make this thing bigger. So you get to pump this up, and you can remove all those cards that you see, especially if you have somebody, especially in 60 card these days, where you have some people that are dumping a whole bunch of crazy stuff into the graveyard and then bringing it back out for half the cost. You can kind of keep an eye on that kind of stuff too. Alright, so speaking of, I see a zombified back in the back of this thing. I got the Ereboo, the first Fang. We did get the borderless one of that earlier. And like I said, a lot cheaper. 4 costs, zombify, you can bring creature cards back from the graveyard. It's not bad for bringing something that died, but a lot of people use it to bring something back that never lived. Mill it into your graveyard and bring it back for half the cost. Rogue's Passage. Not a valuable land or anything like that, but can be pretty useful if you're trying to get something to land. Phyrexian Arena. Good card. Alright, we're down to 2 packs. Still could get that Sire of 7 Deaths. Complete the top 4. Alright, Sky Knight Squire. And then a common for our foil. And then last pack Magic. Let's see if we have anything good here. Once I'm done with this, I will get everything scanned in, sleeved up if it's worth anything, get it organized to get ready to go into my collection. And then we'll talk about how we did on this box. I mean, I think we could say with confidence, there's a borderless card back there. We could say with confidence that we did better than my wife's box did. I think just maybe 1 or 2 of those cards cover that. By the way, my boy, Shivan Dragon, poor guy, down to an uncommon in this set. Yeah, I mean, when I was real young, when I first played Magic, this was the chase card. You know, everybody's looking for those dual lands and stuff now. Those weren't the big chase cards. This was the chase card back then. I think it was worth like $25. I had one. I traded it in. Yeah, now it's not worth anything, and it's just stat-wise, it's not a good card. High Fae Trickster, and then we have a borderless card behind that that's going to be a mythic or foil. It's a mythic. Rise of the Dark Realms. Not bad to end the pack. Fire Splitter Whelp, and then a foil land as well for that. Alright, we'll see you guys in just a minute. Okay. Got everything scanned in. Took a look at everything. Got it all organized. Ready to go into my boxes and everything. That said, I mean, we knew going in that we did well. This is a lot better than the last box. But to give you some numbers, put some numbers on that. For just the dollar and more, we did $128.53, which means I'm $30 or almost $30 over what I paid for the box right there. And especially when we figure in that my wife's box was kind of a dud when it comes to that. This kind of evens out. And then for the actual total, including all the bulk, the comments and stuff like that, was 182. So it's pretty good. Big, foundations. Back when we have, it's 36 packs, not 30 play boosters. So we do have a big stack of commons there. Got a big stack of uncommons as well. Lots of playable stuff in this set. If you play 60 card stuff standard, there's a lot of stuff that's going to be around for 4 more years at least. For rares that did not reach dollar, there's a couple that are pretty good still. Scavenging Ooze is in there. That cool Borderless Prosperous Proportions is in there, as well as the Gulta, which is crazy. Spinner Souls, another that Atali. This gets played a lot. Krinko. So yeah, there's a lot of good cards. Slagstorm that I could see play in the rares that are under $1. Ereboo, that gets a lot of play. Sky Knight Squire, Race the Passes are all played. So not too bad there. Nothing too crazy in the lands. We did get a couple usable colorless lands and Evolving Wild, which I like to use in my cheap decks, and Rogue's Passages. Stack of tokens, and of course we've got a whole bunch of cool foiled and non-foiled full arts. For the $1 to $2 stuff, we got Swiftfoot Boots, we got Soulstone Sanctuary. I got these on top because I'm going to put those in my staples binder. I use these in a lot of decks. An Offer You Can't Refuse is pretty much a staple as well. I don't keep it in that binder, so not bad. Phyrexian Arena and Leyline Axe aren't too bad as well. If you're doing an elf deck, this is a good one too because it gives you it's a lord. It gives you +1/+1 on all elves. So, but what we all really came to see is the top of the stack, right? So, High Fate Trickster, this is $2. I got 2 Bolt Waves. These are $2.61. These are uncommons, but they're still just so good, especially in Commander, where they're 1 cost and you can do 3 damage to each opponent. I mean, that's 9 damage for one red. Quilled Great Rune, not a bad card. That is $2.63. We got 3 Heir Apparents. Each one of those is $2.65. Authority of Consoles. This sees a lot of play. It's $3.79. And then we have Omniscience, which is $4.10. Mossborn Hydra, the regular one, is $5.78. Rise of the Dark Realms Borderless is $10.12. Twin Flame Tyrant is $20.61. Doubling Season is $25.82. And I'll tell you, this is probably about as low as you're going to see these doubling seasons go. I know Foundation is still getting printed, but the hype around Foundations is finally dropped down. We're far enough away from it. Doubling Season is just a staple. It sees play in Standard. It sees play in a lot of stuff, even though it's a high mana cost, and it's especially in Commander. So, yeah, I mean, these are normally $30 or more, and they're still below that right now because of Foundation. So, still, if you need one, now is the time to get them. Bloodthirsty Conqueror would be our biggest hit, and that's $28.82. I mean, compared to the boxes aren't that far apart as far as my wife's box and this box. The difference is we have half of the stack that she just doesn't have, right? She doesn't have anything that's Mossborn Hydra or above this. This is literally her biggest hit was Mossborn Hydra, and we have these 4 cards that are above that $5 range, and that makes all the difference. So, anyhow, that is all I've got for today. Off the top of my head, and like I said, you're going to be seeing this later, but my Sonic stuff is coming in. We're going to have Sonic stuff coming. I've got Mail Day. I've been hanging on to Mail Day for a couple weeks. Just been slow to order stuff with all these sets coming out and everything. And we're not far away from Edge of Eternities as well. So there'll be some Edge of Eternity stuff. I think I've got collector box, play booster box, the decks pre-ordered currently. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get a couple more boxes. I love the set. My wife is kind of not sure what she thinks of it, but I'm in love with it. So don't be surprised if you start seeing me collect all those stellar sites, those lands. They're beautiful. I'm worried that they're going to be out of my price range. So we'll see. Anyhow, as always, this is Binder Miner. Thanks for watching. To put us in your binder, make sure you like and subscribe. Ring the bell to be notified, which is down below. And then you can catch us on our social media, which is also in the description down below. I hope you have a great day. See ya. Bye.